Okay guys, so we're looking at the training collar today, which is very function rich. So we have a collar here which is going to provide 3 different functions: shock, sound, and vibration. So just looking at out of the box here, we have the remote, so you can operate it remotely. There's no on and off here, it's simply just a touch activation. You have silicone covers if you don't want the shock to cause any harm to your dog, so you can actually stop the shock from happening there. You've got 2 sets of shock columns, one for longer haired dogs or larger dogs, others for short haired or smaller dogs. So you have your power outlet here, your charging cables, and your tester. So what this does is actually allow you to test whether the shock is working. It will complete the circuit and illuminate the light bulb. So I'm going to go ahead and start to compile this and show you how it works. I'm going to screw in the longer shock columns because it's going to be easier for me to test it, and this will work at a range of up to 300 meters. So it's a very long range. It's also very safe for your dog. The power frequencies is very low. It's just going to create just enough discomfort to dissuade them from, barking or any other unwanted behavior. So you simply loop it through there, and then we have on the buckle side this. Loop it in on itself and then back out. And you want to tighten it so there's at least about 2 fingers that you can get in between your collar and the dog. So you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose, because you do want these shock columns to contact the skin. So when we're looking at the device itself, it's simply a power button here. So you can hear the sound there. So simple click press for the power there. For vibration, you can hear that. And to test the shock, we just need to put 2 probes here, and we can see that circuit is complete and the light is illuminated. So there are the 3 functions there. So you can see here, in order to change the vibration and the power levels, for the vibration you have up to 8 levels. For power you have up to 16 levels. So in order to change that, you're going to want to long press the channel button, which is 1/2, and then on the side you can increase or decrease. So in this case, say let's want to decrease the shock to about half, and then I want to decrease the vibration. So it's going to be a lot lower. We can actually change between 2 channels, which means we can load settings for 2 different collars, and later we'll show you how to connect those collars. So I might have a larger dog with larger shock here and a smaller dog with smaller shock here. So I can set this for 2 different settings for 2 different dogs and use that at the same time. So here we have a strap as well. So if you're walking, you can loop this around your wrist so you don't lose it, and you can also slip this over your belt. So it's a belt strap there. So that'll be very convenient, and it will help with not losing the device. So it's very useful, and we're going to show you how this is waterproof as well. So I've got some glass water here. Let's put it here. We're going to submerge this entirely into the glass. So as you can see, it's completely submerged, and we're going to see if that still works. So it's 100% waterproof, and that's going to be very useful for when your dog is swimming or being bathed, or in any situation, for example, it's raining, where you're concerned about the safety of it. You can see it's perfectly safe and it's not going to malfunction. Okay, so we're going to show you how to connect the device, so pairing it with the collar. So as you can see, there are 2 channels. I've only paired 1 channel, as you can see there. So if you wanted to buy a new collar or set up another collar for another dog, then you will have to pair it again. So I'll show you what happens when it's not paired. It doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna hold this down for 5 seconds. Three, 4, 5. So you see you have a light flashing there. So I'm going to now press any button up here. You can see the red there, it paired, so let's try it. So both channels, it's now paired to number 2. Okay, so when you are putting it on the dog, you have to make sure that both the shock columns are touching the skin to complete the circuit, which will allow the shock to be felt. If it's too long, you can actually cut this and adjust it. You can also cut some of the hair of the dog in case it's too thick to make sure that it's touching there. So there's a 1-year warranty actually with this, so it's going to be very reliable, and if you have any problems you can contact support at bosnick.com. So we'll provide the email on the listing, and you'll be able to contact them and get any replacements or repairs done in 1 year. So some of the frequently asked questions about this is if the vibration is working and the sound is working but the electric shock's not working. So you want to make sure that these 2 points are touching, and you can actually use the tester to make sure that the shock is actually working. So if you're not sure whether the shock's working, this is what the tester is for. You'll be able to connect that and make sure it's working. Or if you don't want the shock, then you can use these silicone covers and also adjust the function on the device. So the last frequently asked question that usually crops up is the remote isn't connecting and it's not working. So I press the buttons and nothing's happening here. So you have to make sure you pair the device. So remember, when it's on and you have that green light, you've got to long press that for 5 seconds and then find the channel there and connect it. So make sure it's paired properly. And that's about it. Really good device here for training your young puppy. You can have a lot of fun with it, and it's safe and it's gonna last a while, and make sure those bad habits are nipped in the bud. Okay guys, so we're looking at the training collar today, which is very function rich. So we have a collar here which is going to provide 3 different functions: shock, sound, and vibration. So just looking at out of the box here, we have the remote, so you can operate it remotely. There's no on and off here, it's simply just a touch activation. You have silicone covers if you don't want the shock to cause any harm to your dog. So